Hello, class. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend. And because it was a long weekend, a 4-day weekend, today is Tuesday. Usually we start our school week on Monday, but yesterday was a holiday. So today is Tuesday. If today is Tuesday, what will tomorrow be? Today is Tuesday, tomorrow will be Wednesday. So let's put our calendar together. Today is Tuesday, our month is May, and we filled in a lot of squares here for our dates, and we're all the way up to the 25th day of May. You can see we're almost done the month of May. Who knows what the month is that comes after May? If you said June, you're correct. After we're done our calendar, we'll do the months of the year song so we can review the months. So today is Tuesday, yesterday was Monday, and tomorrow will be Wednesday. We had a lovely weekend with sunny weather, and it is Tuesday, May the 25th, 2021. So let's take a minute to practice those months of the year. Are you ready to move? January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November and December. These are the months of the year. Again, January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November and December. These are the months of the year. So, April, May, what's next? June. So when we finish this week, we will have to take out this month card and put June in there next week. But today, let's enjoy this day, and we will take a minute now to thank Jesus for it. Dear Jesus, thank you for the wonderful weekend we had. It was so nice to have good weather and be outside with our families, enjoying nature. We're thankful that we're back together now, and please open our minds and our hearts so that we can learn everything that we can today and enjoy the day to the fullest. Amen. And we are thankful for our country, Canada, so let's sing our song today.
And today, we're going to sing the Canadian National Anthem to celebrate all things
Canada.
Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, we love singing the
Well, I love the words in our national anthem that say, God keep our land glorious and free. And we do have a glorious country with lots of freedoms to be thankful for. And we should be good stewards of our country, be good citizens, and we should take care of the beautiful earth that we've been given. So that is why we sing our national anthem every day, because we love our country and we're thankful for it. It's time to move on now. In your packages, we are almost finished our craft letter pages, but there is one in there for this week, so go ahead and do that. And when you know how to do that very well. And when you're finished that, we can move on to math. But before we move on to math, what are we talking about in our Bible time? We're talking about the same thing we were talking about last week. It's such a good topic. We're spending 2 weeks on it. It's a wonderful thing, but sometimes we have to practice it, and it takes lots of practice sometimes to learn how to accept those who are different than us. So we're talking about acceptance, and our story today is called Blind Bart. I want you to read that story and think about how Bart was different and how Jesus saw who he was on the inside and loved him for who he was, and how he wants us to accept people who are different in many different ways from us, and to see who they are, who God made them to be on the inside, because we're all a beautiful creation and we're all unique and different and special. So you enjoy that story and see what you can learn from it, and let's practice our new verse this week. It has the word accept right in it. It starts with, accept one another, just as Christ accepted you, in order to bring praise to God. When we accept and love each other, that shows God to other people. It praises him, it makes him happy, it blesses him when we let his love flow through us to other people. That shows other people the kind of God that we serve, that he's a kind, loving, accepting God who made many different kinds of people with different interests, with different gifts, with different appearances, with different things to offer. And everyone knows different things that they can share with others if we get to know them. So let's practice that verse again. Accept one another then, just as Christ accepted you, in order to bring praise to God. We're not perfect, but God accepts us. He loves us just as we are. And that's found in the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 7. So you practice that this week and memorize it and bring it to mind when you meet someone different and you have the opportunity to get to know them. All right. Okay, we said we are going to move on to math, and we have a new subject in math this week. What did we talk about last week and the week before? We were talking about number bonds, which was teaching us how to add, and then how to count on, starting at the end of the first number, and then adding a second number onto it. Well, this week we're going to start learning about the opposite of addition. Do you know what that's called? That's called subtraction. So this is exciting. We are going to start to learn how to subtract. Do you know what that means? It just means to take away. If you have a group of things or a set, and you give some of that to another person, or someone takes some away, that's subtracting. So let's practice that together. That is the word subtraction. It looks like a long word, but it has 3 syllables. Let's clap them together. Subtraction. Subtraction. And it means to take away. Well, I have a pretty picture here of a house, and the sun is shining just like it is today. So I'm going to put it up here. And in that house lived a couple of bears. They were very friendly bears, and they always wave to their neighbors, and they love to have their neighbors visit them. So here's Mrs. Bear, and she doesn't want to stick right to the house, so we'll put her here. And here's Mr. Bear. They're both waving to their neighbors and saying, "Come on in for a visit." Let's put them right here. Can you see them waving? So there was different bears that were their neighbors that were walking by, and some of them brought something when they came to visit. So we have two bears who live in the house, Mrs. and Mr. Bear. One of their neighbors loved to bake, and they invited her over. She stopped to chat, and she had some cookies that she'd just taken right out of the oven. So there, we're gonna put her right beside them. There was another bear who came to visit, and she loved to dance. There she is in her tutu. So we have the two bears that live there and two of their neighbors. Well, after they'd visited for a while, it was time for them to go home. So how many were there while they were visiting? There's Mr. and Mrs. Bear and their two neighbors. Let's count. 2 plus 2 more is 2, 3, 4. So 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. 2, 3, 4. Well, like I said, it was time for their neighbors to go home, so off they went. They're not there anymore. So we subtracted them from the picture. We took them away. Let's do that math question. How many were there when they came to visit? 2, 3, 4. So there were 4 bears at the bear's house. How many were there when their neighbors left? 4. How many are we taking away? How many left? Take away 2. This sign means take away or subtract. So our math question is 4, take away 2. And we know this means equals, and that means what is the answer. So we can easily figure that out. There were 4. We took away 2. And now how many are left? 2. So 4, take away 2, equals 2. Well, the next day, they were out waving again, and they waved in some more neighbors. Today, one of their neighbors had just picked some flowers from his flower garden, and he brought them to Mr. and Mrs. Bear. And another bear was on his way to the post office. He had an envelope in his hands when he was walking by, and they waved him in. And another bear brought some chocolates. So now we have a different math problem. We have Mr. and Mrs. Bear over here waving in their neighbors. And how many neighbors came to visit? So 2 for Mr. and Mrs. Bear. And then 1, 2, 3 neighbors came to visit. So now how many neighbors are there? 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. Remember, we don't have to go back to 1 again because we know there's 2 bears. So we're counting on. 2, 3, 4, 5. We hopped over 3 times from 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. So our first number in our math and our subtraction question is going to be 5. There's 5 bears there now at their house. After they had talked for a long time, it was getting close to supper time. So their neighbors had to leave. So we subtract them. We took them away. So we had 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We took away 3, and how many are left? 2, Mr. and Mrs. Bear, because they still live there. 5. How many were visiting that day? 1, 2, 3, 5. Take away 3 equals, how many are left here? 2. All right. There's another way that we can practice subtraction. I gave each one of you a card like this. And if you have some Play-Doh at home, we can use Play-Doh to help us learn how to subtract. If you don't have Play-Doh, you can use whatever kind of counters that you have at home, and that will be fine. But I'm going to use Play-Doh today because there's a picture of how someone used Play-Doh to teach how to subtract. And you can see that a child is flattening out some of that Play-Doh. How come some of the Play-Doh are in balls and some of them are flattened out? What do you think that math problem is? Let's count how many pieces of Play-Doh there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see a 7 right here. How many pieces are flattened out? 1, 2, 3. So what's our math question? 7 take away or subtract 3. And they've put these numbers on top of each other instead of beside each other. So I have some Play-Doh here. I'm going to start with a yellow ball. Yellow is such a bright, cheerful color. There's my yellow ball. Then I think I'll add a blue ball. Playing with Play-Doh is fun, isn't it? There's a blue ball. And I think I'll add a green ball. How many balls do we have now? 3. I think we should keep going. Let's add an orange ball, another very cheerful, bright color. How many balls do we have there? 1. Whoop. Well, we can do a math question with that. One of our balls rolled away. How many do we have now? 1, 2, 3. So we'll start with the number 3. Let's take our bear family down. We have 3 Play-Doh balls. So our first number. But how many did we have before one rolled away? Let me see if I found them. It was the green one that escaped. So how many did we have? We had 4 balls, so that will be our first number. How many balls rolled away? The green one took off. So how many did I just take away? How many did I take off? 1. So we had 4. We took away 1. So that's the next number. 4 take away 1 equals, we want to know how many are left. And that's easy peasy. Let's count them. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So 4 take away 1 or subtract 1 equals 3. We'll do one more on our card together. So we'll put the green one back on there, and I think I'll put another blue one on. And then another orange one. Alrighty. Now, how many do we have? Well, there's 5 on the top, and one more. 5 and one more is hopping over 1. If we hop over 1 from 5, we get to 6. So we have 6 balls on there. Now, let's take away 2 of those, and we're going to squash them or flatten them down to show that we're taking them away. So squash, squash. Can you see that I flattened 2 of those? How many round balls do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many balls did we squash? 1, 2. How many did we have when we began before we squashed any? We said we had 5 and 1 more, 6. So 6 is the amount of Play-Doh balls we had to start with. 6. How many did we squash? 1, 2. So 6, take away or subtract 2. And how many round balls do we have left that aren't flattened? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that? How many round balls are left? 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 6, we squashed 2, or we took them away, and now we have 4 left. So 6, take away 2, equals 4. I want you to go ahead now and practice with your boards and whatever counters you have, and have fun practicing subtraction, and then you can practice it a little more on this worksheet. The first one is easy peasy. We have 3 footballs. One football. Two footballs. Three footballs. And the question says 3 take away or subtract 1. What does it equal? So we had 3, and we're going to take away 1. So we'll cover it up. How many do we have left? 3 take away 1 equals 2. Easy peasy. So once you've done practicing with your board and your counters, then you can go ahead and fill out your subtraction sheet. All right, SKs, when you're finished practicing with your subtraction board, you can work on your math sheet. There's a picture of monkeys. You have to count and see how many monkeys are in the tree. Then there's a picture of butterflies. How many butterflies are there? 2 monkeys climbed down. How many are left in the tree? So if we had 4 monkeys and you can see 2 climbing down, how many are left there? That's our subtraction question. 4 monkeys, subtract 2 equals, and then you put the number that are left for the answer. 3 butterflies flew away. How many are left? So, how many butterflies were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 9. There were 9, and 3 flew away. There's 9 up here. 3 flew away. How many are left down here? So the question is 9. Take away the 3 that flew away, and how many are left? On the back of that page, you have stars, and you're crossing out the stars that you're subtracting. So 3, cross out 1, leaves you 2. 5, take away 3, so you cross out 3, leaves you 2. And you can go ahead and finish that. All right. I think we've been working hard, and it's time for us to have story time. So just get up and have a stretch and take a little break, and we'll come back for story time. Our book today is called The Reason for a Flower. It's planting season, and I sent you something special in your package this week so that you can plant your own seed. And we're going to do that together as a class tomorrow for our Zoom call. I hope you can all make it tomorrow at 1 o'clock for our Zoom call. And Gideon and Jairus, it's your turn to share. We're looking so forward to hearing you, even though it's not quite the same when we do it by Zoom call. We all love seeing each other, and we all love hearing what our friends have to share. And we're going to have so much fun planting our seeds together, and we'll find out what seeds those are. In the meantime, you can be guessing, what kinds of seeds did Mrs. Peddler put in my package? Well, go ahead and have your stretch, and I'll meet you back here to find a little bit more about how flowers grow and what they do for us. I hope you had time for a little rest, and now that you're ready to relax and enjoy finding out about how flowers grow and how they help our world. The Reason for a Flower. This is written by Ruth Heller. I just love flowers. They make our world so beautiful. What else do you see on this page? Do you see a hummingbird with its long beak, skinny beak, getting some nectar out of the flower? Do you see a honeybee who's getting some nectar to make honey with and take back to the queen bee? Do you see a wasp down here? And what do those honeybees do besides give us honey? That's right, they take pollen on their feelers in their feet from flower to flower so that more flowers can grow, and so fruits and vegetables can grow. A plum. Birds and bees. I just love it when a hummingbird comes on, when I'm sitting on my front porch and a hummingbird comes to some of my flowers to get some nectar. They're so beautiful. Birds and bees and these. What kind of creatures do we see here? We see some beautiful flowers. We see a beautiful butterfly. Lots of beautiful butterflies. Can you tell what's a butterfly and what's a flower? They're all kind of blending in together, and they're all so pretty. And these sip nectar from the flowers. So on this page, we have some moths and we have a bat. Can you see the bat? And as they search for more and more pollen from the flower before it goes to the next one, they explore the pollen from before. So when they're searching from flower to flower for nectar, there's the honeybees and there is the daffodils. They're taking pollen from flower to flower. Some pollen travels in the breeze and ends up on different plants and flowers. Without the help of birds or bees, and very often make you sneeze, from an anther on a stamen to a stigma on a style, pollen grains must travel and stay a little while. And then you'll see the reason. So here's some beautiful flowers, and they have styles and stigma. That's what the pollen lands on, and that's what helps to make more flowers and more plants. And now we're going to find out the reason for each flower, and even weeds. The reason for a flower, look at all those beautiful flowers. Zinnias and marigolds and lilies and even dandelions and pansies, is to manufacture seeds. So the reason for a flower is to make seeds. Seeds that have a cover of one kind or another. Some grow inside a juicy fruit, and it's not odd to find them growing in a pod. See all the different seeds? They're all different. In the watermelon, there's tiny little seeds. In the pea pod, they're inside the pod. In the avocado, there's one big one in the center. When we cut an apple this way, the seeds look like a star. And did you know that a tomato is a fruit? Because it has seeds in it. The tiny little seeds in the pepper. There's orange seeds. And the largest seed of all is a coconut. This, a coconut, is a seed. And acorns are seeds. The squirrels are very glad that there's acorns around from trees. And we don't eat acorns, do we? And these little seeds that fly and have wings, those are seeds. So some of these seeds we eat and some of them we don't. They fly from the tree down to the ground so that they can get to the ground and sink in there so another tree can grow. Which one of these seeds, and did you know that peanuts are seeds? Which one of these seeds do you think Mrs. Pedler put in your package for you to plant and watch grow? We'll find out on Wednesday. Seeds travel far and wide. Some even like to hitch a ride upon a bike or on a shoe. Squirrels hide them and forget that they do. Some have burrs that stick to furs and travel at a gallop. So if seeds like burrs attach to your clothing, then you're taking them from one spot to another. Some of them, can you see on the bunny's foot? There's a burr that's stuck to his fur, so he's taking it from one spot to another. Squirrels hide them sometimes, like the acorns, and then they forget, and then a tree grows. Seeds can settle anywhere they find water, sun, and air. So what do they need? Seeds need water, sun, and air. They need the carbon dioxide that we breathe out into the air to help them grow and to make food. Sun, water, and air. And then they grow roots and stems and leaves to take the water and nutrition up to the plant so it can continue to grow. The leaves catch the sunshine and the roots catch the water and minerals that are in the ground. Some seeds grow up to be trees. These grow where it's very dry. So these are desert plants, but even in the desert, some plants can grow. We know that cactuses can store water in them for a long time because it's very dry in the desert and they don't get a lot of water. So they keep the water inside for a long time. These are desert plants. Well, some of these grow where it's wet, like the lily pads in the water. So many plants and so many seeds. And we're about halfway through this book and there's still many more to learn about. So I think we'll stop there. This is a good place to stop. And we'll find out more about seeds and plants and growing things this week. In the meantime, you get outside and look at some of those things growing outside at your house. Maybe you can pick a dandelion or two. And have a wonderful afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow morning for our video and then in the afternoon for our Zoom call. Bye for now.